Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another Total Extreme Wrestling video. I do not know what number this is, I've lost count. If you notice, the last few videos were probably wrong, but that's fine. We are on the way to the Royal Rumble. Now the videos last week with the TLC pay-per-view and the week's Raw, Smackdown, and NXT UK may have shocked a few, made some big booking decisions. This week we are stabilizing some of those decisions. Let's say we're going forward towards the Royal Rumble. We're starting to set up the card for the Royal Rumble, where obviously those two big Rumble matches will, be a big part of it, but also you've got to have big title matches, and that's what we are planning to do. So let's get this going. Let's get it started. Last week we ended Monday Night Raw with a new United States champion in a shocker. This week we're over in Scotland. We're in Glasgow, so the hometown boy will open up the show. Monday Night Raw tonight comes from the Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland. So we start with the hometown boy, Drew McIntyre, your new United States champion. And the fans, I'm hoping, would go wild. Drew McIntyre comes out proudly, got the championship on his shoulder. And before he can say anything, the music of Keith Lee hits. And out comes Keith Lee, who is fuming after last week. Last week he was... Well, let's not beat around the bush. Drew McIntyre, whether it was using the ropes or the tights, I can't quite remember. He cheated to win the United States Championship from Keith Lee. Drew McIntyre, he is the babyface. He is a babyface, but it's a bit dodgy. So Keith Lee comes out here and he's fuming and he says, "Look, Drew, I expected better from you. I've come to Monday Night Raw and you've looked after me. You've looked after me, but it seems that you've looked after me for your own regard. You've looked after me to get one over on me, and you will not get that chance again." Before these two can go any further, out comes Aleister Black. Aleister Black, the former United States champion. He only held the belt for a day. Just saying. He wanted competition last week. He got it. But tonight he's also looking for competition. He comes out and says, "You know what? I've got no qualms about you winning the championship last week. It was a fatal four-way and anything can happen." But anything can happen tonight. Anything can happen when you want to excite these hometown fans, Drew. Let's excite them. Let's put that championship on the line. You versus me, and let's tear this house down. Keith Lee is watching from the side. Drew and Aleister Black are focused on each other. There is no focus on Keith Lee right now. Just saying. Drew McIntyre says, "Absolutely. I was going to come out here and do an open challenge, but guess you've just accepted tonight." Main event, Drew McIntyre, Aleister Black, booked. 83. Good promo to start. We've got a lot going on there. From there, we went to an 8-man tag for a 74, which is good. But I can see a couple of people are off the game, which is a shame. It was the New Day teaming with... Yep, we've named them the Psycho Killers. I've gone with it because it's the best I had. I'm still not sure on it, but we're gonna go with it. I'm not sure it's PG, but we're going with it. Daniel Bryan and Tommaso Ciampa teaming with the New Day against Cesaro, Elias, Damian Priest, and Bobby Lashley. That's the Artist Collective and the Hurt Business, and the faces win. Daniel Bryan makes Elias tap out with the yes lock, let's say, because cattle mutilation is probably not what he'd use. Xavier Woods 60, Kofi 73, good performance from him. Tommaso Ciampa 63, getting there. Bryan 80, very good. He was actually off his game, but still very good. Lashley 61. 56 from Priest, 56 from Elias, and a 63 from Cesaro. So there's enough talent in there to get this through, and that's what it did. It didn't quite hit that upper 4-star level match, which it perhaps could have done, but when Bryan and Lashley are off your game, it is what it is. But the faces win, and another good win for the Psycho Killers, but a loss here for the Hurt Business. Now, they weren't pinned, so they are protected by it, but tonight they're on the losing team. That will play into something later. Charlotte Flair cut a promo on Shayna Baszler for 67. She's talking about how, you know what, it doesn't matter that Shayna Baszler is getting a rematch at the Royal Rumble because Charlotte Flair will do what Charlotte Flair does, and that win. And Charlotte Flair will walk into WrestleMania as the queen of this division and make everybody bow down. 67. That's not bad from Charlotte, actually. And from there, we went backstage where MVP is having a chat with the Hurt Business with Damian Priest and Bobby Lashley. I said earlier, obviously, they'd lost. This time, MVP he's not having a go at them. He's not telling them off, but he's sort of coaching them through. Saying, look, if you'd have done this better, if you'd have done that better. When he suddenly stops, he says, look, boys, I'll catch up with you. I just need to deal with something. And MVP walks off. The camera follows, but the camera sort of follows so that it's... MVP doesn't realise the camera's there, I guess we can sort of say. It's sort of through a gap in a door. And MVP is talking to Keith Lee. Now, MVP says, look, I saw what happened out there. I saw about you being overlooked by those two in the ring. And do you know why they overlook you? Because you're new here. You're new on Monday Night Raw, but they shouldn't overlook you because you are a beast. You are an animal. So don't let them overlook you, is all I'd say. And how's about this? If you need us, just let me know. And that's how the segment ends. That is it. That is all you're getting. 68, good promo. Charlotte Flair and Liv Morgan were in action against Ruby Riott and Lana for 66. This is pretty good. This is pretty good, actually. 44 from Liv Morgan, 76 from Charlotte Flair, 46 from Lana, and 41 from Ruby Riott. Yeah, not bad, actually. Really good performance from Charlotte Flair. Really good. Ruby Riott has a gimmick getting stale, so that needs changing. Post-match, as Charlotte's celebrating, she is choked out by Shayna Baszler. Baszler can't put her hands on Becky Lynch, but she can put her hands on Charlotte Flair. That's for damn sure, and she does just that. Chokes out the champ and stands tall with the belt. 69. Daniel Bryan and Tommaso Ciampa, the Psycho Killers, got a backstage promo for 70, talking about the Royal Rumble. They talk about how they're both going to be in it, and whether it's Daniel Bryan, whether it's Tommaso Ciampa, they will be main eventing WrestleMania. 70, Rumble hype, it works. Next week then, it's announced we're going to see Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro. Now, all of you hardcore fans are very pleased, I hope, because I will be. From there, we go to a squash match, and we did get a British wrestler on the card. Braun Strowman took on Danny Burch, and they didn't click. Braun Strowman performed 65, Danny Burch 27. We only gave it under 2 minutes. It's a squash match, but to that, no need. Braun Strowman wins. How can anybody put a man that size over the top rope? You get the point. Rumble build. Afterwards, he cut a promo on the Rumble saying that he will. He's already won one Royal Rumble, he says. No, he doesn't, because we're not accepting that was a Royal Rumble. It was not. It's fantasy land in Saudi Arabia. It doesn't count. Anyway, Braun Strowman says he will win the Rumble and he will go on to WrestleMania 70. Fine. Rey Mysterio cut a promo on AJ Styles for 67. Of course, last week, AJ, in his fury at losing the championship, attacked Rey Mysterio backstage. Rey Mysterio says tonight he gets revenge for him and his family, who had to watch as he was treated by the medical people. I had to watch him suffer. And tonight, Rey Mysterio will get revenge. He's asked for this match, and he's going to get revenge. That's to explain why it's happened, basically. 67. The match itself, then, Rey versus AJ could be very good. It is very good, actually. It's 73. Not quite as good as their previous match at 77, but I think we do have to remember we are not in America, so the popularity level is not always quite as high. So we are playing with fire a little bit. AJ Styles pins Rey Mysterio. The springboard 450, really? Fine. 72 from AJ. Rey 54. He's getting momentum back again, AJ Styles. That's the idea. Post-match, he got a promo on Andrade saying he hopes that Andrade keeps that belt nice and warm, because at the Royal Rumble, he is coming home. AJ Styles is determined to get this Royal Rumble title match. He is determined to have it. We did a backstage segment with the man, Becky Lynch, being interviewed, asked about Shayna Baszler. Becky Lynch says, I get it. I can't touch Shayna Baszler until the Royal Rumble. I can't touch her till the Royal Rumble. Fine. 'tis what it is, because Becky Lynch vows to win the Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania. Now, before she goes any further, in walks in Bayley, and Bayley says, you're talking about the Royal Rumble, you're talking about Shayna Baszler, you're not talking about tonight, you're overlooking me. You shouldn't be. I am the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion of all time. So don't overlook me or you will regret it. They get face to face and Bayley slaps Becky Lynch. A slap to Becky Lynch, and Bayley, well, she runs. She scampers to the ring. Their match is next. Now, Becky is suffering from an injury, so she's going to try and work through it. Hopefully that doesn't affect it too much. Becky and Bayley gets us 73. So that's not bad, actually, considering the injury took a big toll. Great chemistry, which is good to see. Becky 74, Bayley 57. And the winner of the match is Bayley. Becky Lynch got disqualified after going into a rage. Hence the slap. Bayley was trying to wind up Becky Lynch. She does that throughout the match. Lots of heel stalling tactics, a spit to the face to Becky Lynch in the end, and in the end, yeah, Becky gets the chair, and, well, yeah, disqualification. Becky Lynch loses. We're trying to tell this story that Becky Lynch can't get her hands on Shayna, and she just can't deal with the anger inside. How is she going to last in the Royal Rumble? We already know she's number one. She's been punished. She's going to be number one in the Royal Rumble. How is she going to last and go all the way through without some sort of temper tantrum, without some sort of mistake? We'll find out. 73. Pretty good match. Sammy Guevara could have promo on Andrade for 53. I don't know why I was the road agent. That didn't help us. It is what it is. He says that last week he didn't like Andrade's arrogance. He didn't like the arrogance, and he doesn't think that's what the WWE Championship should be about. Andrade and Sammy Guevara are teaming together tonight. Of course, Sammy saved Andrade from AJ, technically, despite not liking his arrogance. So, let's see, shall we? Next week, then, it's announced Christian's made the matchup. After tonight, he wants to see a winner, so we'll get a rematch. It's Bayley versus Becky Lynch in a no disqualification match next week on Raw. That's pretty big. From there, we went to Keith Lee. We put Keith Lee in action against Noam Dar for a 53. Keith Lee 61, Noam Dar 35. Keith Lee squashes Noam Dar. But what you do see here is Keith Lee is more aggressive than ever. Keith Lee probably could put Noam Dar away inside a minute, but he doesn't. He uses every little bit of opportunity to get rid of the anger and the chip on his shoulder. Yeah, that's leading to something. Andrade could have promo on Sammy Guevara for 73. Good promo here. And he says to Sammy, he's trying to play with the big boys, but he's just not ready. So, yeah, we'll see where that leads. The match itself then is Sammy Guevara and Andrade teaming together against Austin Theory and Angel Garza. And he gets us 69, which isn't bad, actually. Andrade 78, the best of the lot. The WWE champions, carried this one. Why has Savio Vega interfered? I didn't book that. Weird. Sammy Guevara 55, Andrade 78, 57 from Austin Theory, and Angel Garza 60. So it's not good that Sammy was the worst in the match. That's not great. Basically, the idea here was this was a chance for us to try and put Sammy Guevara over big time. So midway through the match, out comes AJ Styles, which distracts Andrade. Now, Andrade and AJ Styles brawl around ringside, leaving Sammy Guevara on his own with Theory and Garza. But this time, it doesn't matter, because this time Sammy Guevara uses his smartness, I guess, if that's a word. And he outsmarts Theory, he outsmarts Garza, gets the roll up on Austin Theory. 1, 2, 3. Sammy Guevara gets the job done. He clears the ring, and it leads to Andrade getting back into the ring. AJ and Theory and Garza have scarpered, and Andrade gets back into the ring as the winner, and he's proud of himself as the winner, and he's taking all the attention as the winner, which Sammy Guevara does not like. So he lays him out and takes hold of the championship belt and just holds the championship belt in front of him, just stares at it. He dare not hold it high. He's not ready, he thinks, for that. He doesn't want to jinx anything. He just holds it and stares at the WWE Championship. And that's how we end the segment. Andrade watching Sammy Guevara, who's just staring at the championship. 56. Right, we went to a break. We came back from the break to see AJ Styles cutting a promo on Sammy Guevara, saying that it's a joke. It is a joke that Sammy Guevara thinks he should be having a title opportunity. Look at him sniffing around with that title. It's a joke. And Christian says, you know what? You may think it's a joke, but that man out there has proved something tonight. So next week, he's getting an opportunity. And AJ's like, whoa. What do you mean he's getting an opportunity? I haven't had my rematch. I am next in line. And Christian says, no, he's getting an opportunity in a number 1 contenders match. And it's against you. That's right. AJ Styles, Sammy Guevara, 64 for that segment. AJ Styles and Sammy Guevara, 1-on-1 next week. Number 1 contendership. Right, that leaves us with one more match left. If I can get words out. Drew McIntyre cuts a promo on Aleister Black beforehand for 73. And now it's time for him to put the United States Championship on the line. It's Drew McIntyre versus the former champion Aleister Black in Drew McIntyre's hometown. This should be big. Your winner. And, well, there isn't a winner. It's a no contest. 79. Good match. No contest. It's changed my booking. Why? It's anyway, no contest when Bobby Lashley and Damian Priest attack, leaving both men out. The referee has to call it a no contest. 88 from Drew McIntyre, 77 from Aleister Black. Drew has enjoyed being in Glasgow here. 79. Both men are laid out, and we end the show with Aleister and Drew being slammed through tables by the Hurt Business. Priest was underwhelming. Drew McIntyre was a star. 80 rated segment to end. Now, why? Why is the question? That's what Tom Phillips will be saying. Why have the Hurt Business done this? What have they got to why are they rivals? I guess I forgot the words I'm trying to say. What's their issues with Drew McIntyre and Aleister Black? That's where we end the show. 80 rated segment to end gives us 79. So yeah, we got a 79 on Raw last week. We got a 79 on SmackDown last week. Those are the first two main roster shows, big main roster shows in 2021 for us. We got another 79 here. So we are hitting our average here. We are hitting our solid good shows. How do we get to that next level? I'm not quite sure yet. It's still pretty good though. Main event this week comes from London, England, the Dome to be precise. So if you do know that, shout out to the Twitch chat for choosing that one. It opens up with Sami Zayn cutting a backstage promo talking about the Royal Rumble. Another one of these Rumble hype promos saying about how he will throw out 29 other men and the artist will use WrestleMania as his palette. 70. Pretty good promo. From there, we went to the matchup. Now, I'm hoping this will do quite well. I thought, hardcore UK crowd, Sami Zayn, let's throw him in there and give him time against Cedric Alexander. And he didn't do that well. He got a 61. Jesus. Okay. Well, that's... Sami Zayn 60, 45 from Cedric. Yeah, it's the game, isn't it? It is what it is. I got too excited and the game screws me a little bit. Fine. Sami Zayn makes Cedric tap with the Koji clutch. Fine. Drew McIntyre got a backstage promo for 72 talking about the ending of Monday Night Raw. And he's complaining about the Hurt Business. And he says he doesn't stay down for long, so watch out. 72, we then have it confirmed that the match has been made. Next week for Monday Night Raw, it's going to be Drew McIntyre and Aleister Black against the Hurt Business tag match next week on Raw. We've got some big matches already planned for next week. That's good. From there, we went to Bayley cutting a promo on Becky Lynch ahead of their no DQ match. She's bragging about, you know what, she beat her. She beat the man, and next week she'll beat her again and beat her within an inch of her life. 51. Not a great promo there from Bayley. Tag team action here for 69. The Miz and Morrison defeated Heavy Machinery. 68 from The Miz was the head and shoulders above everyone else guy. 59 from Morrison, 47 from Tucker, and 59 from Otis. We are in England, remember, and we've got to remember it for SmackDown as well. We wanted to do a week in the UK. Maybe we shouldn't have done anyway. 69, it is what it is. Lacey Evans and Carmella, their new name of value, cut a backstage promo. They are the women's tag team champions, and they brag about winning the titles, and they say, you know what the best thing is? She will be so pleased. And that's it. That's all they say. 61. The Usos got a promo on Alpha Enigma for 68. That's Jeff Hardy and Chad Gable, by the way. Talking about how they keep wanting a title shot. Well, they don't get one because they don't deserve to be near the Usos. 68. Good promo. Back to in-ring competition. Sonya Deville defeated Nikki Cross just under 5 minutes. 58 from Nikki's, 57 from Sonya, 57 for the match. Another win for Sonya Deville. Miss Money in the Bank. Pretty good. KO cut a promo on Big E for 73. That's the Universal Championship feud at the moment. SmackDown last week. Big E's, well, weren't a celebration as such, but him coming out with the Universal Championship for the first time was ruined when Kevin Owens delivered the stunner. KO cuts a promo saying he is coming for the United States Championships, the Universal Championship. Jesus, 73. Main event then is for a 66. The Disciples, Seth Rollins, Akam, and Razor. We've put the band back together, Seth and AOP together. No sign of Murphy. Of course, if you watched last week's SmackDown, Seth Rollins guaranteed that somebody would be sacrificed, and after losing in the main event, it was Murphy who was sacrificed. There's no sign of Murphy here tonight. We'll pick up with that on SmackDown. Seth put in a good performance actually, 75, but he couldn't drag Lucha House Party any higher than that. So 66 is fine, and that gives us a 67 rated main event. Solid for main event. Solid. Okay, we open up NXT this week off the back of last week. Last week, of course, ended with Balor and Gargano being attacked by the Broserweights. So this week, Gargano and Balor are arguing with the Broserweights backstage. William Regal comes in and says, you guys have obviously got your issues and you can't wait until NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. Well, guess what? Tonight, you've got your chance. In the main event, it's Balor and Gargano against the Broserweights. 77 for a first segment. That's pretty good. We went from there to in-ring competition where Pentagon Jr. was in action. Before we did that, we did a backstage promo, which I'd forgotten about. That's fine. Grizzled Young Veterans cut the promo because James Drake is in action. You can sort of say soon to be tag team champions, soon to be winners of the match, blah, blah, blah. 45. Zach Gibson was poor. That's a surprise. Right, James Drake and Pentagon Jr. gets a 68. That's very good for NXT. Very good. 69 from Pentagon Jr. James Drake, 47. Pentagon Jr. is getting better at his gimmick. Good man. Top rope Styles Clash as well. Wow. Jesus Christ, Pentagon Jr. I know you want to make an impact, but don't make your impact on James Drake's neck. Top rope Styles Clash. Jesus, 68. Good stuff. Pentagon Jr. then got a promo on Cameron Grimes. Of course, these guys have been having the issues. Pentagon Jr. says, look, I want to deal with it. Next week, the challenge is set. Cameron Grimes, will he accept? We'll find out later. Tegan Nox got a promo on Dakota Kai for 63. Tegan is looking to take the championship at TakeOver Vengeance Day, or else she's done. If she doesn't win at TakeOver Vengeance Day, she must leave NXT. So, yeah, Tegan is trying to deal with the pressure of that. 63, though, a good promo. Crazy Mary Dobson is here, and we debuted her with an over-the-top entrance. Now, what I've got in my head here is she has broken out of a mental hospital, is the idea, so you can fill the screen with sort of, I don't know, like straitjacket type stuff, weird, creepy gimmicks, and Crazy Mary Dobson comes out, and she's still wearing the straitjacket that she's broken out of. She's broken the sleeves on it so she can still wrestle type thing. But she looks creepy. She looks tired. Her hair's a complete sort of mess, like she's not had a shower in about 6 years. She looks scared as well, is the main thing. She looks scared, but not of people, is the idea. She's scared of herself. She's scared of what she can do. She gets in the ring, ready for the matchup. And, well, she destroys Mercedes Martinez, let's say. 4 minutes is all we gave it. And, yeah, Crazy Mary Dobson is aggressive. She is violent. She is psychotic, is the best way to say it. Ignore the split-legged moonsault. We should probably change her finisher to something dominant, because the split-legged moonsault doesn't quite fit the gimmick. 43, Crazy Mary Dobson. 35 for Mercedes Martinez gets us 32. It's all right, because we're going to build her up. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish got a promo on Adam Cole for 66. They say last week Adam Cole stopped them from being tag team champions, but the truth is he's been stopping them from being champions for a long time now, because it's all been about Adam Cole. Well, next week can be about Adam Cole. Bobby Fish says, yeah, next week can be about Adam Cole, because next week he wants Adam Cole. He's gone to Regal, and the match has been confirmed. 66 for that promo. The match itself confirmed there. Adam Cole will be taking on Bobby Fish. That's another one of the Undisputed Era that Adam Cole's taking on. Right, went to tag team action in the women's division as The Way defeated Deonna Purrazzo and Shotzi Blackheart for 46. This is actually pretty good. Candice carrying it with a 53. 33 from Indy, 34 from Shotzi, and 36 from Deonna. Shotzi's got a gimmick that's getting stale, so that needs changing as well. They won with their double team move, which is, this is the way, it's not made it look good there. Candice LeRae pinned Shotzi Blackheart with a This Is The Way. Might need to change that. 46 though, good stuff. Eric and Ivar, the War Raiders, cut a promo on the North for 57. They say they dare attack the War Raiders when their back is turned. It is not respectful and it is not right. Well, they will absolutely destroy the North next. Will they though? War Raiders versus the North gets us a 57, so it's pretty good. Ivar sustained a kidney contusion. How? Right, okay. Well, the North won. Ethan Page pinned Eric using the ropes for leverage, so they cheated to beat them. 68 from Ivar, 65 from Eric, 55 from Ethan Page. Josh Alexander, 72 though. Whew. Mate, well done you. 57, kidney contusion. More like absolute confusion. Ridiculous. Josh Alexander and Ethan Page, the North, then cut a promo on the big beefy boys. They said they've dealt with these Viking wannabes. Now they're coming for the tag team championships. 55, good promo. From there, we went to a 6-man tag in the Cruiserweight division. Now, we actually advertised this last week, and it was supposed to be Legado del Fantasma, but we can explain it by saying Raul Mendoza, unfortunately, cannot work tonight. He is ill. In fact, he's on the main roster for some reason. I need to change it, and I didn't anyway. They're up against Isaiah Swerve Scott, Lindsay Dorado, and Jake Atlas. Brian Kendrick fills in for Raul Mendoza, and Brian Kendrick takes the pin, or the submission actually, when Isaiah Swerve Scott wins the matchup. 63 though is really good here for the Cruiserweight division. This division is improving. It is really improving. There's none of this pre-show work and nonsense anymore. 46 for Jake Atlas, 58 for Lindsay Dorado, 50 for Swerve Scott, 48 for Kendrick, 57 apiece for Wild and Escobar. Good stuff. So a good win for Isaiah Swerve Scott. And afterwards, he's impressed Regal enough that next week the match is made. It'll be Isaiah Swerve Scott against Santos Escobar, and the Cruiserweight Championship is on the line. That should be interesting. Very, very interesting. Adam Cole cut a promo on Bobby Fish for 68. He says, you know what? He's beaten Kyle O'Reilly. He knows he can beat Roderick Strong, and he will beat Bobby Fish next week. Not a good promo here for Cole, actually. He didn't do well without a script. You need to be better there, Adam Cole. From there, you hear the beeping of a car horn, and that's right, we're doing it. We're doing it straight away as soon as I can. Cameron Grimes, we're doing the gimmick change. He is a rich hipster snob. That's what we're changing it to. He's going to be my Ted DiBiase. I love the gimmick. I just love the gimmick. Let's handle those changes right now. He's gone from a hillbilly to a rich snob, and it received an initial rating of great. Yes, Cameron Grimes is then in action after bragging about his money, telling him to, what was it, kiss my grits, kiss my grits. Well, let's see if Danny Burch will kiss his grits. I didn't. Moving on. Cameron Grimes against Danny Burch under 2 minutes, and that's all it took for Cameron Grimes to deal with Danny Burch. 57 from Grimes, 30 from Danny Burch, 50 rated match, and Cameron Grimes make Danny Burch tap out. New gimmick, new push for Cameron goddamn Grimes. I love the gimmick. Right, afterwards he cut a promo on Pentagon Jr. for 51 and accepted the matchup because money will pay and Pentagon Jr. will pay next week. I really want him to just do the everybody's got a price, but I'm just not doing it yet. Broserweights got a promo on Finn Balor and Gargano ahead of the main event. 68 for the promo. This should be a good match. These are four of the best workers in NXT, so hopefully they'll have a cracking main event. Balor and Gargano against Dunn and Riddle for an 80. They had a cracking main event. Gargano 85. Riddle 84. Pete Dunne 73. And the weakest of the lot was the NXT champion Finn Balor with a 69. Wow. Balor pinned Riddle, by the way, with a coup de grace after interference from Roderick Strong. So Balor pinned his takeover opponent. But it weren't so clean cut, was it? Roderick Strong getting involved and saving, getting the win for his Undisputed Era leader at the moment. What a main event, by the way. What a main event. Gives us a 72 rated NXT. That is how it's done. It's all about the main event, don't get me wrong. That was the best thing on the show. But still, that's how it's done. Tyler Bate opened the show cutting a promo on Volta backstage just before he's about to go out to the match. I quite like doing that, so we're doing it again. 68 for the promo. Just quite simple stuff of how he will not make the same mistakes and he will be Volta and take back his United Kingdom Championship. 68, good promo. Tyler Bate against Danny Jones then is your opening matchup. For a 56, this is pretty good. Tyler Bate carrying this one. Danny Jones put in a 29, which is about his thing. You had Lana Austin out there at ringside, which can play into the story of the match, but it doesn't matter because Tyler Bate gets the victory inside 10 minutes. Really, really good match for Danny Jones to be involved in here. So, yeah, good win for Tyler Bate on his way to take over Insurrection. Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, the Welsh Dragons, could have promo on the Prestige here. 39, Mark Andrews struggled, but Morgan Webster was good. Again, similar to Bate, they talk about taking back their NXT UK tag team titles. Slow build for him, solid build for him, but that works. Kaylee Ray made her entrance. She's coming down to ringside. She wasn't expected, but she's coming down to ringside to do color commentary. She's scouting her opponent for TakeOver. Julia's in action next against Ginny Couture. So 41 rated matchup, 38 for Julia, 35 for Ginny, but a 41 anyway, so that's pretty good. Ginny was actually off the game, but another good win for Julia, who is really starting to pick up momentum now. She's really looking good going in to take over Insurrection. Kaylee Ray has got a problem. And in fact, after the match, Kaylee Ray and Julia go nose to nose. They look ready to have a standoff, and Kaylee Ray is muttering. She's talking about how Julia does not belong in her league, and Julia does not like the disrespect. And for the second time this YouTube video and this stream, slap. That's right, we're doing another slap because for some reason I planned a lot of them this week. Julia slaps Kaylee Ray because of the disrespect and leaves. 43. These two baby faces are starting to get niggly here. It's Chris Brooks who cuts a promo backstage on the Ojmo for 56, just to further their feud another week. They're not involved this week, but yeah, just to keep it going. Chris Brooks and the Ojmo is where we're going for TakeOver Insurrection. It should be a good match, actually. 56, good promo. It's announced Brooks is in action next week against Drake Maverick. That should be pretty good. That is not all, though, because the Prestige are also in action against Killian Dane and A-Kid. Big match in the tag division. The Prestige will be defending the belts against the Welsh Dragons, as we mentioned earlier. And finally, Toni Storm will be in action. She takes on Bobby Tyler. 3 matches booked for NXT UK next week. There is only 3 matches tonight, though. So it's time for your main event. Volta cut a promo on Tyler Bate beforehand. Actually hoped to be matched with Cara Noir for 67. That's fine. And now then, Volta and Cara Noir in the main event gets us a 63. So a good main event. 68 from Volta, 35 from Cara Noir. Doesn't matter because it's all about the NXT United Kingdom champion. A very good win for Volta. A very good win. He wins with a golden bomb. Afterwards, Tyler Bates' music hits and he comes down, and this is a real face-off. I know we teased it earlier with the women's, but this is a real face-off. Face-to-face. Volta holds the championship high. We end the show with the tense face-off. These guys, we don't need them to come to blows, not this week anyway, because Volta and Tyler Bate in the same camera frame, that sells enough. 71, good segment to end. Gives us a 63 rated NXT UK. Not quite our best in the save, but not far off either, considering you had Cara Noir and Danny Jones in the two main matches. Success, that is. Friday Night Smackdown on Fox kicks off with the Intercontinental Champion. It's Ricochet against King Corbin for a 78. Good match here. Ricochet 80 carrying Corbin to a pretty good match. 51 from the King. But it's all about Ricochet. A good win. He got 18 minutes to tell a good story. And the rising babyface, the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, he stands tall. Well, stands probably not he's probably the wrong word, because he's not standing for much longer. The post-match segment sees Randy Orton nail the RKO out of nowhere. And it leaves Ricochet laying. But Orton's not done. Orton grabs a steel chair. He sets it up in the middle of the ring as if he was going to sit on it. But instead, he nails another RKO on Ricochet, on the chair, John Cena style, for an 85 rated segment. Magic from these two there. Magic. Jeff Hardy and Chad Gable, Alpha Enigma, are backstage with JBL. They're talking about the Usos. They say, look, we want our championship opportunity. And JBL says, you know what, fine. You guys have waited long enough. Next week, you will get that opportunity. Alpha Enigma versus the Usos for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. 58 for the backstage segment. Sasha Banks got a promo on Io Shirai for 63. She's talking about how Io took her to the limit at the Royal Rumble, but Sasha walked away with the championship. And last week on SmackDown, Bianca Belair also took her to the limit, but once again, Sasha Banks walked away with the championship. But Io Shirai couldn't let it lie. Io Shirai attacked her from behind. So Sasha says, while she likes the attitude, don't get in the boss's way. 63 for a good promo. The match itself then sees Io Shirai take on Natalya. We did this match a few weeks ago and it worked well. Let's see if it works as well. It doesn't work as well. A 62 rate match at this time. Io Shirai 57, Natalya 43. Yeah, not as great, but Io Shirai gets the victory again and seemingly is in contendership for another title shot. Io cut a promo on Sasha afterwards for 62, saying that the title will be hers. Interesting. Seth Rollins comes out on stage and introduces the new and improved Disciple Murphy. Last week he was sacrificed. This week he is back, but he's different. He feels different. He looks different. Not physically, not got a change in gimmick. He's not got a change in his clothes, but there's a different feel to him. He's more obedient than ever, but a little bit, I don't know, concentrated, yes, but a little bit screw loose, you could say. 68. Murphy has seen some things, let's just say that. Seth and Murphy will team up against Heavy Machinery next for a 64. Not quite as good. It was Heavy Machinery in there. Tucker got a 51. Otis 63, that's pretty good. And Murphy 58. Seth Rollins head and shoulders above the rest, 76. Yeah, Seth gets the win. They are sort of floating at the minute, but yeah, it's fine. Big E and Kevin Owens had a special segment here, so let's talk all about it. It starts as we see Big E walking backstage and he stops outside the dressing room door that says Kevin Owens. Of course, last week Kevin Owens stunned the Big E, Big E, the Universal Champion, so Big E's looking for revenge. That's where we went to break. We come back from break to find a melee happening in that locker room. The camera bursts in and Big E and KO are brawling around the locker room. It ends with Big E winning the fight and slamming, spinebuster style I guess, KO through a glass coffee table. A big bump from KO here, and Big E walks away pleased, but we're not ending it there. Big E comes out to the ringside area. Big E gets on the mic and says, you know what, KO, you're all about bravery and determination, and you don't stop and you keep coming, you fight for your family. Well, I respect that, so I've just handed you a beating back there, but if you can drag yourself back out here one more time, I'll give you a title match. I'll let you have a shot at this at the Royal Rumble if you get there. Kevin Owens indeed does come out, dragging himself, crawling down the ramp, gets into the ring very, very slowly, very much he's in pain. He is hurt. He is struggling, and Big E picks at his carcass, destroys him again with a steel chair, a big ending on the steel chair. And Big E just gets on the mic and says, you got your match, and walks away. Big E looks pleased. He may have to defend his title, sure, but Big E loves a fight, and Kevin Owens has provided the fight, or will provide the fight. 86, good promo, good segment even. Seth Rollins and Murphy are going to be teaming together again next week. Can they get another win against the Street Profits? That should be interesting. We did a women's tag match, and this was meant to be a women's 6-man or 6-woman match. But unfortunately, Carmella is out for a 24-day stint due to the injury. So Sonya teamed with Lacey Evans here against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair for a 64, which is really good. Sonya the best of the lot with a 66, 46 for Lacey, 45 for Bianca, 47 for Rhea. So they're all about the same level. Sonya and Lacey actually showed excellent chemistry together, which is good. And Sonya gets the win here, making Rhea Ripley... it says submit. I'm going to say she gets a pin. She gets a roll up on her or something like that after miscommunication between Belair and Ripley. Belair and Ripley are not on the same page at all, and Sonya Deville takes advantage. Post-match, Rhea has had enough of Sonya Deville, and they brawl around ringside in a wild scene to send us out of the segment. And JBL announces, or it's announced during the break, that next week it's been booked. It will be Sonya Deville and Rhea Ripley next week. Yes, it will. We haven't quite got there yet, though, because there is a backstage segment. Roman Reigns is walking backstage, or sort of standing backstage. Reigns is in the main event tonight, and that's summed up when the Usos arrive and they say, listen, cuz, I get it. Tonight you're teaming with Alpha Enigma. You're teaming with the people we're facing next week for the Tag Team Championships. Now, I just want to say, look, we are just like you. We are all about family. We have the memories with you. And let's just say this. We've got your back. The Usos making it very clear that they want Roman Reigns potentially to soften up the Alpha Enigma tonight. Will Roman Reigns do that? Well, we'll see. 69. There's the official announcement for Sonya Deville and Rhea Ripley, but that is not all. We're also announced this. The Universal Champion will be in action as Big E takes on Otis next week. 2 big hosses. That should be interesting. Sheamus cut a promo on Roman Reigns for 74. Very good promo here from Sheamus. These 2 old rivals will go back at it again tonight when they're on opposite sides. As we mentioned earlier, Reigns teaming with Alpha Enigma against Sheamus and Glorious Show Off. That's your main event, and it's next, and it gets a 72. So pretty good main event. Pretty good main event with some very interesting finishes. Let's talk about the ratings first. 55 from Gable, 58 from Jeff. Roman Reigns 74, the best of the lot. 63 from Sheamus, 44 for Robert Roode. That's bad. Dolph Ziggler 50, but Reigns really carried this one through with a 72. Now let's talk about that finish, shall we? So Reigns wins. Reigns gets the pin over Dolph Ziggler, but he doesn't actually do the dirty work. That comes from the Usos, who run down to the ringside area. It looks like they're going to attack the Alpha Enigma, but that doesn't happen. They hit super kick to Sheamus, super kick to Robert Roode, and a super kick again a double super kick, you could say, to Dolph Ziggler. The referee was distracted. I don't know. You could say the referee was knocked out. You could actually do a ref bump here, which would work fine. And in the end, Roman Reigns looks at the scene and realizes he has to do it, and he pinned Dolph Ziggler, takes the win from the Usos' handiwork. Roman Reigns wins. Post-match then, the Alpha Enigma are not happy. They they confront Roman Reigns and they say, look, we don't win like that. You don't win like that. And Reigns says, look, I did what I had to do. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. It's fine. And Reigns looked like he's ready to leave. And that split second allows the Usos to pop back up. A double super kick. One for Gable, one for Hardy. Reigns just looks at the scenes and says, look, it's nothing to do with me. And walks away. 79. That is not very Roman Reigns-y at all. That gives us a 68 rated at Smackdown. Whoa. I mean, two big angles worked here with Orton and Ricochet and Big E and Kevin Owens. But the rest of the show, it struggled. It struggled. Not good. And that's it then, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of your week. An okay week. Smackdown was odd. It was odd. It was just off and odd. I don't know. But the rest of it was pretty good. NXT was good. Raw was pretty good. I'm struggling to hit that next level at the moment, and I really hope we're going to get there before the end of the save. More on that after the Rumble. We'll get to it. Until next time, peace.